I'm so sorry. Please don't stand there because we constantly come back and forth.
Welcome to Yogaxpress, your virtual stretch clinic that helps you move the body to still the mind. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program. Today we have a few surprises for you, very happy surprises. Before I move on to reintroduce some of our guests, it's a very familiar face. Actually, I'll start with a very familiar face. Sarah Torres to my immediate right. Sarah is an actress, a model, and an upcoming author. Sarah, very briefly, we have a special guest as well, but before we introduce her, I'd like to very briefly have you remind our viewers where we can find you on, if we go online.
Yeah, you can find me. I mean, you can find my Model Mayhem account if you Google Sarah Torres. And I didn't develop a Facebook page professionally.
You're going to need it once you become your published author.
But I want to have like the actual photos of my book or maybe whatever book events I go through and stuff like that. I want to have that for those kind of things. And any like real serious, big type acting jobs.
You're nearly there, right? Your book is almost out.
Yeah, my book is done. I'm just waiting to get everything lined up in order so it can be out there. It's called Something for Everyone, and it's a collection of short stories and poems.
I know you have something else in the pipeline as well, but we'll talk about it when you're ready to talk about it. You have a comic book project.
Hopefully. I'm just waiting to get a response back from a couple of people. I'm waiting to see what their art looks like, so...
And you script write as well. Sarah, you and your tattoos are welcome on the show anytime. It's a shame you can't show your tattoos today.
Oh, I did, right?
That's a beautiful top.
Thanks.
Welcome back to the show. Sarah's little girl, to my extreme left, Naomi Candelario. Naomi, would you like to say hello to your friends? They're going to be watching you. Call out their names. Hi, Isabel. I remember you have a friend called Isabel.
Hi, Isabel.
And Naomi, I know the last time I asked you what did you expect to be doing here, you gave a beautiful answer. You said stretching. What did you expect today?
I was expecting a stretch like a couple of times.
Good. Today we also have a special guest who's, as we stretch, she's going to help us understand what are the good things that happen in our body when we stretch. Okay? So listen very carefully today. Now coming to, I'm going to save Susan for the last. I'd like to acknowledge our crew today, our director Josiane Hurd. Thank you, Josiane, for being there. Co-director Carol Lewis. Thank you, Carol. Carol is also doubling up on camera, so she's getting all these amazing shots of us. And we also have Richard Swanson to thank for the amazing studio lights and the sound system. Thank you so much to all of you for the great teamwork. Now for the big moment everyone's been waiting for. Susan Rasmussen Rogat. Susan, did I get your last name right?
Perfect.
I've got your bio reads like a who's who of personal trainers. Susan is a personal trainer, and she is group fitness instructor at Complete Body and Spa. But I'm going to have Susan tell us a little more about what she has been up to all these years, because she has this amazing background of fitness videos. You also have videos out there, right? Susan, tell us a little more about yourself.
I've been doing this a very long time. I'm a graduate of Springfield College. Originally, I thought I would be a physical education teacher.
Okay, in a school.
And it just kind of worked out that as I was applying for jobs, the fitness business started to grow.
Right.
And I was teaching and coaching at Williams William Patterson State University, and they built a racquetball court on campus.
Okay.
And the head of the department came to say, you're the youngest person on our staff, go learn this new game and you'll teach it. So while I was learning how to play racquetball, the manager of the club came to me and he said, would you mind teaching some stretching to the women who are doing the round robin?
Oh, okay.
And I have to be honest and tell you, I thought, oh my God, teach fat old ladies exercise? Oh my God, what am I going to do? And I was a gymnast, so I thought the easiest way to make this palatable to me
Right.
and to them would to make a little music and to make it like a little gymnastics routine.
Right.
And it was a half an hour before the round robin on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. And in less than 6 months, it grew to 40 classes a week.
Wow.
And so I had to hire the girls on my gymnastics team to help me teach it because I couldn't do it myself.
Is that what you made into a video? You have a video called Absolute Fitness.
I did 2 videos well after that.
Okay,
This was my
okay.
first
Oh, your first.
foray into fitness and teaching fitness in a class situation to adults.
Right.
And it was a whole new venue.
Must have been
you
a
know?
challenge right there.
Yeah, it was in the early 80s and everything was very new.
Right.
And then one thing led to another, and all the clubs in the area called me and they said, could you do the same thing here that you did there?
Word
And so,
gets around.
and then eventually, my husband and I at the time, we decided to make this our own business.
Right.
And we started renting space in the clubs, and we had 9 locations, and one thing led to, and then we opened our own studios. So it kind of evolved. It was never a plan.
Right, right.
I was always very physical, but and it was always something that was very important to me in my life. But I never thought that this is what I would be doing for a living.
Susan, a lot of the times, and that's a very honest confession that you just made on air, possibly to 3.5 million people, but you're absolutely right. A lot of the times we make plans, but our life doesn't take us in that direction. And when we find it, you get a sense that this is what I want to do. I'm happy doing this. And you found your passion.
It's the greatest thing. I mean, every day someone comes to me and they say, oh, I just don't have time to exercise. And I kind of have to smile to myself because if I was them, I probably wouldn't have time either. But the way it is, this is what I do.
Well, the last
this
time
is
we
how I
checked, we all
dress.
have-
This is what I do. This is what I get dressed in the morning in my sneakers and my exercise clothes
Right.
and go to work. It's a great thing.
Well, that's right. Your passion, I think it was, you're a poet. It was a Keats who said Shelley, who said your avocation and your vocation. So your passion and what you do.
Right.
If they
Happy.
meet somewhere, that's a happy parallel right there. That's wonderful.
Yep.
That's beautiful. Susan, what we expect from you today. Susan has not been on our show before. This is the first time she's appearing on Yogaxpress. We're very honored to have you here, Susan.
Thank you.
Our expectations are at this point not too high. We don't want you to take us too much into the depths of the body workings, but we'd love to know, we'd love for you to explain to us in simple terms. You can name the muscle groups or whatever, but as we stretch, how we are benefiting ourselves. And I'm going to leave it to you how you tackle that. So are you willing to stretch with us as well?
Absolutely.
Feel free while we do hold a little longer.
I talk and exercise all the time.
That's it. You're a group fitness director. I should have known. All right. When we are ready, Sarah, let's all stand up. And this is also for a camera person. So you know. Oh, we're all about, except little Naomi. You're the tallest here. Suddenly, I don't feel it.
like a
I feel
giant.
quite tall. We're going to stagger ourselves. I'm going to have Susan and Sarah come forward. Naomi, you're fine where you are. Susan, we're going to go through the sun salutation possibly, and when we are done, we may have a few more questions for you again. While we're in the posture, Sarah and I and Naomi will hold the postures, and you can help us understand how we are benefiting from it. Heels together, toes apart, palms in front of your chest, elbows are raised. Inhale. This is Namaskarasana. The sun salutation has 8 plus 4 repeats, so 8 postures and 4 repeats, so it's 12 postures. When you practice at home, you can literally do it like a dance motion in under 60 seconds. Unbelievable, right? But here we're going to hold it longer. Inhale, take your arms up. And feel free, Susan, you can just talk in between. It's your show today.
All right, so we're lengthening our spine now, which is a good thing.
Exhale, fold from the hip.
And now you're going to feel some stretching in your hamstrings.
We do. If we don't feel it, are there any suggestions? What we
Right.
should-
If you're not feeling it, then you try to push the heel of your hand down, depending on how flexible you are.
Oh, that's not going to happen today. But okay.
All right, so for example, I'm a little bit more flexible, so I have to, in order for me to really feel that stretch, I have to kind of bend my elbows and push my heel of my hand down. Some other person who maybe not so flexible could just be brushing the floor with their
just
fingertips.
Right. Okay. Palms 6 to 8 inches in front of our feet. Take the left leg back and then the right. Naomi, you with us? Are you enjoying yourself yet?
Yeah.
Exhale. Press your heels all the way down.
So now you're feeling the stretch. It shifts from your hamstrings down to the back of your legs, into your calf muscles, into your Achilles tendon.
Oh, I feel this.
And you're flattening the upper back. So now you're stretching out under the armpits and flexing the posture muscles in your upper back.
Inhale, bring the left foot between the hands. Place your right knee on the floor, uncurl your toes in the right foot, and let's ease off. Both palms on the left knee. Exhale and dip. Go for it, Susan.
So this is a perfect hip flexor stretch here on the right side. You're feeling that hip flatten in the front, and that's a really important stretch. When those muscles become tight, all kinds of gait issues happen.
So
So
posture
this is-
issues when we're walking.
Right.
Okay. Now, is that the psoas? Actually, after the first round, we
The
would like you to
iliopsoas.
tell us. It's psoas,
You got
right?
it.
Is that okay?
Very nicely done.
Exhale and dip. Now, we're going to go for the Yogaxpress twist. We added this. The typical sun salutation doesn't have this additional twist. Sarah and I decided we're going to do a twist which will stretch, what are these, the obliques?
Your
The
obliques.
side of the waist. So left knee is up. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, dip the right elbow over the left knee. And watch Sarah when she does this. She gets a whole elbow over her left knee. The other way, sweetie. Right elbow. No, your leg is fine. Keep your left knee out. That's it. Take your right elbow over the left knee. So take this hand. Sarah's going to help you. That's it. Beautiful. And turn
Just
to
like
look the
that,
other way.
Naomi.
Very nice.
Got it?
Place your left palm on top of the right.
Beautiful.
Now, once we're in position, Susan is going to talk us through the muscle groups. Not the actual name, Susan, but is this helping us?
Well, if you're really pushing yourself into this position, you should really feel your right oblique, which is a stomach muscle.
Okay.
And you're holding yourself in this position, so it's a contraction. It's a heavy contraction. So it's really like doing a stomach exercise.
Oh, okay.
All right, for your waist. You know, you have your rectus abdominis in the middle, which flattens your stomach. This pulls your waist in, your obliques.
So over a period of maybe 6 to 8 months, I should get rid of my love handle.
No, the best
Inhale.
exercise for that is pushing away from the table.
Inhale, let's come out of that. Place both palms beside the left foot. Curl your toes in the right foot. Take the left to meet the right in plank position. Now make sure your knees are off, but now go for it, Susan.
This is a really very intense core strengthening exercise. Not only core, but it's great for your whole body. If you keep
gonna
your
help
shoulders over your wrist, you feel your arm strength. Your body is being supported by your arms. You're building calcium here because your bones
Oh, I
are
need that.
holding your body weight. All right, so it's building bone, it's strengthening your shoulders, it's strengthening your core. If you're pressing your heels back, you're feeling the stretch in the backs of your legs.
Yeah, feel it.
So there are a lot of benefits. This is one of the exercises that's become very chic now.
Knees, chest, and chin to the floor. We're going to exhale as we dip and inhale as we glide out. And once we are out into cobra position, Susan's going to explain what the whole posture is doing for us. It's 2 postures combined into one. Exhale and dip. Inhale, glide out into cobra, uncurl your toes, tops of your feet flat on the ground.
Good. Now, so if you're holding yourself off the floor, as Sarah's doing, it's creating tension in between your shoulder blades. These are your rhomboids. They're
that a good
responsible.
tension?
It's responsible for your upper back posture. It's a flexing of all the upper back muscles. So this is a really good exercise if you have posture issues. A lot of times people who do have posture issues cannot do this. Can't get your hands or can't get your head up off the floor.
So if you can get your palms off, your back is safe.
That's good. I'm always slouching, so I guess I know I got
This is a
okay
good thing.
posture.
So we need to engage your low back.
I never tell people to engage their low
Is that
back
right?
because you don't want them to focus on that. You want them to focus in between the shoulder blades because that's much more difficult.
Well, that's good to know.
If you're doing this properly,
Right.
you can feel your gluteals or your tush muscles
Right,
engaged.
tightening. Okay.
And I tell always people, try to point your toes in this position. I want
Right.
to I want to see lightning bolts out of your toes.
Oh,
That
like
makes-
I'm gonna have to watch Sarah's toes.
that I want you to think about that energy that you're creating and pushing out.
That's a wonderful point about the shoulder blades. So palms back on the floor, toes are curled in, forehead to the ground. Inhale, lift your buttocks all the way up. Back into mountain position. Exhale, press your heels down. Susan, I wanted to ask you in this posture, now this is a repeat, the next 4 postures will be repeats, but I meant to ask you, when we get our heels down all the way, you did mention there's a wonderful stretch in the back of the legs, right?
Right. This is your Achilles tendon.
Right, that's
And your Achilles tendon becomes your calf muscle. There are a number of calf muscles. When your legs are straight, it's your gastrocnemius that's engaged. And you feel that lengthening and that stretch. And women who wear really, really high heels,
right.
very long times, usually have a shortened
Calf
gastrocnemius. And this is a really
Which one is the
good-
gastrocnemius?
Your calf, the
Calf
big,
muscle.
the big fat muscle in your
Okay.
calf. There's the soleus and there's also the plantaris underneath there, but the gastrocnemius is the real important one.
Inhale, bring your left foot and then the right between the hands. Place both your palms together. Once again, as you mentioned, the back of the body, right?
Back of the legs, but also if you can touch the floor here, and why don't you guys try this and see what you feel. Touch the floor, and now see how your back feels. And now take your hands off the floor and let your upper body become a weight.
Ah,
What happens?
we have a posture right there. Well,
Okay,
actually, your
so
body
now-
goes a little deeper too.
Right, you go a deeper stretch because now you're using this upper body as part of your weight.
Right.
And that's acting as a resistance for the stretch, an assistance actually in this position. And you're going to feel a release of your spine here if you relax your head, because your spine is allowed to just stretch out as long as it can be. And you can feel that increased stretch in your high hamstrings.
That's a wonderful observation that you brought up, Susan, because this is actually one of our yoga postures, a very popular posture. We call it Uttanasana, forward fold. One of the 5 basic principles of yoga is body gravity as well. So that's a great observation. Palms together. And the other thing I noticed was the second time around when we came out into this posture, I noticed that the back of my legs were a little more, well, basically I was going
Warmed
able
up.
to go a little, yeah, warmed up, exactly. I was able to go a little deeper. So I guess practice is important. Place your palms together, inhale, come up with a nice straight back.
Now you're engaging your latissimus dorsi,
Which
which is really important. If you look at somebody's back, down the center of your spine is your backbone, and then there's kind of usually a little bit of a ridge on either side, a muscular ridge.
Right.
And that's your latissimus dorsi. It's an upper body extensor. You extend your posture by really engaging that muscle.
Oh, I can feel it. Exhale, bring your palms in front of your chest. Exhale and relax. Before we go on to the other side, Susan, when we are doing the second round, I'm just going to call out the postures, but we'll continue to hold, and I'd like you to do that one more time.
sure,
That was a great
sure.
explanation. We need a quick recap.
Okay, sure.
And Sarah, in case you have any feedback, if it feels good or whatever, please, feel free to point out and ask questions of Susan. Let's take advantage of her being
So I have
here
a question. When you start in this position, are you pushing?
You're pushing in. We're
Okay,
pushing
so-
our palms together.
What do you feel when you push?
Well, I feel the pressure on my wrist, and I find that really helps me.
What I want you to focus on is push really hard and feel across your chest. Now, what you should feel is you should feel underneath your arms and your chest muscles really squeezing hard,
The
right?
stomach muscles tend to go in as well.
Right, well,
when
you
do
want
that.
to pull those in. And I always tell people, try to think of pulling your belly button towards your backbone.
Yeah.
And it always makes everybody laugh.
This girl does a lot of crunches, right? You do ab
Yeah,
crunches.
a lot of ab
So you should be able to feel it right there.
I do. It's funny because when she said push, when you feel, you were saying your hands. I was thinking like
Yes.
my breast muscle.
You could actually watch, if you press really hard, you should be able to see your chest lift up and down.
that's where I feel.
Very nice.
Right.
Inhale, take your palms up. Now this is the second round of sun salutation.
Lengthening your
it's just
spine
second
all the way up to the ceiling. Lifting the rib cage as far as you can away from your hips. Lengthening your spine. The higher you reach, the smaller your waist gets.
Oh, I need that. Okay, I need that. All right, let me go as far up as I can. Exhale, fold from the hip. Sarah, I have a new mission. Fold from the hip. Keep your back nice and straight.
Good. Now here again, if you can reach the floor, great. If you can't reach the floor, then that's also okay. You're just going to hold that and let your upper body become a weight. Drop the rib cage as close as you can to your knees and feel the muscles in your back of your legs, your hamstrings right here.
Oh, yeah.
Lengthen. As you exhale, if you release into the muscle, you get a benefit. It's called AI stretch, active isolated stretching. It's actually a stretch technique that's been stolen from yoga.
Well, it's a happy steal, so that's fine. It's a great combination. Place your palms 6 to 8 inches in front of your feet. This time, take your right leg back first and then the left. Exhale, press your heels down. Quick recap, Susan.
Now, so you're feeling again the stretch firstly in your Achilles tendon, the big thick tendon behind your heel.
Ah, okay.
And as that tendon goes up the back of your leg, it becomes two heads of your gastrocnemius. And that muscle is responsible for pointing and flexing your toe, your foot.
Ah, so gastrocnemius is the thicker calf muscle, thicker part
right.
of it.
That's the muscles that really kind of give your shape, its round, your calf its rounded shape. And as you're also pushing your ribcage toward the floor, you're engaging the muscles behind your shoulders, your posture muscles.
Very nice. Inhale, bring the right foot between the hands this time. Place your left knee on the floor, uncurl your toes in the left foot, and let's ease off. We got a cue, we're about 3 minutes closer to the closing of this episode. So we're going to do just one round. We're going to complete this round and then have a quick, have Susan give us a quick recap of all the major muscle groups. Exhale and dip. Go ahead, Susan.
So you're feeling your hip flexor again, your iliopsoas.
I love that.
Over here on the left side, pressing forward.
Very nice. Actually, quick question. Oh, for those of you who see Susan with her shoes on, she's a personal trainer, so she walks around in her shoes and tights. But no, in yoga, we actually have you take your shoes off. And Susan's going to come back tomorrow and the day after, and she's going to take her shoes off then. But if you insist on keeping your shoes on, just know that you want shoes that give you a good grip, whether you're keeping your socks or your shoes, you want traction on the mat. So you want to be safe. That's more important. Exhale. As we dip, right hand on the right knee. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, dip your left elbow over the right knee. The other one, sweetie. Put your right knee forward, your right knee. Take your left leg back. That's it.
Now, give me this.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Place your left palm on top of the right and look up at the raised elbow and hold. While we're in position, Susan, I meant to ask you the last time. You know, in yoga, we take a few liberties. We allow the knee to go past the toes. But I know in gym workouts, you don't allow that. Why is that?
Because it puts undue pressure on the ligaments and cartilage in your knees.
Okay.
And if you're going to do it once or twice, it's not an issue. But if you're a regular practitioner,
Right.
And you repeat something over and over again that may cause an issue with cartilage,
Okay.
it might not. It would be obviously a bad thing.
Good to know. We'll try not to take too many liberties. Inhale. Let's come out of that. Place both your palms beside the right foot. Curl your toes in the left. Take your right to meet the left in plank position. Now, Susan, I don't have enough arm strength to hold this too long. Tell me why.
Okay, well, probably because you don't do enough upper
No,
body work.
I don't do enough push-ups either.
Most women don't. This in itself is a really good way to do that.
Right.
Doing it on the floor like this is harder. If you put your hands on a chair and put your feet out behind you, it'd be easier.
I could deal with that.
Right, right. But you engage all of your core muscles, your rectus abdominis, you engage your latissimus dorsi, you engage so many muscles in this position. It's really, really
good
very good.
workout.
Yeah, it's a great
Knees
workout.
feels like it hurts my back sometimes.
Well, probably because you're letting your tush sag a little.
You don't want it to sink.
You want it to be in a straight line from your
sorry.
shoulders all the way to your heels.
Okay. Knees, chest, and chin. We're going to glide in to the floor and then glide out. Exhale and dip. Inhale, come up into cobra. Quick question, when we dip down, are we
Muscles in the
benefiting
arms.
at all? We
Absolutely.
are. Okay, great.
Because you're resisting. You're not just flopping down with gravity.
Right, right.
You're resisting. The slower you go, the more muscles have to resist gravity.
Got it. And I love that explanation you gave about this particular posture, especially with the palms up. You were talking about the latissimus, the shoulder blades going closer, right?
Right. These are your rhomboids here.
rhomboids. Okay.
And I tell people, think about cracking a walnut with your shoulder blades.
Ooh, I love that analogy. Probably got a minute. Palms back on the floor, forehead to the ground, curl your toes in. Inhale, bring your buttocks all the way up. Exhale, press your heels down. Any more?
No, this is.
You did explain this,
This
yeah.
is back to the original position again. We're pressing your rib cage down, pressing the heels down so that you're feeling the stretch in your gastrocnemius through your Achilles tendon.
Very nice. The back of the ankles, right?
Right.
Bring the left foot between the hands and then the right. Place both your palms together. Inhale. Let's come up with a straight back. Exhale and release. As we close, we'd like to thank our amazing crew. Thank you, Josie and Hurd, Carol Lewis, and Richard Swanson for making this episode happen today. On behalf of, and actually before I forget, before I say the thanks on behalf of all of us, this episode is dedicated to your mother, Susan. I know you've got some personal problems. In spite of that, you made time to come here, so thank you so much for being here today. On behalf of Naomi Candelario, Sarah Torres, Naomi is Sarah's daughter, by the way, Sarah Torres, and Susan Rasmussen, this is Banu Suresh signing off, and you are watching Yoga Express. Let's all sit down. We probably still have a minute or two because I hear the closing ohms. I'm not sure the titles have gone. But just very quickly, Sarah, do you first of all, do you have... Oh, okay. Okay, we'll start the next one, the next episode with you if you want to ask any questions.
Okay.
And you know the deal, right? It's yesterday's episode. Oh, by the way, someone advised me we don't want to say